And we see that God as our exceeding joy really is the antidote for that. What's going on, Grace family, and welcome back to our midweek check-in. So last Sunday we had our second week of dissecting a Psalm of Lament and looked at a lot of different things from Psalm chapter 42. And our big idea from last Sunday is we looked at the thought and the takeaway is that God as our exceeding joy is the antidote for despair. So in those moments, we kind of use the analogy of that drowning, in those moments where we feel like we're overwhelmed and drowning in life, and that despair hits, and even that level of hopelessness comes. Where do we go? What do we turn to? How do we react in that? And we see that God as our exceeding joy really is the antidote for that. So we worked through 4 different application points, and that first one is to long for God. And since that's kind of the first thing that we saw from Psalm 42, I wanted to meet you here in the middle of your week and read from another psalm that talks about that a little bit and maybe just expand on that idea as you're trying to apply it to your week this week. So this is Psalm 63. It's the first 8 verses, and in my Bible, the title of it says, "My soul thirsts for you." So right away, there's kind of that longing, that thirsting that connects it to Psalm chapter 42 as well. But this is Psalm 63, verses 1 through 8. It says, "O God, you are my God. Earnestly I seek you. My soul thirsts for you. My flesh faints for you, as in a dry and weary land where there is no water. So I have looked upon you in the sanctuary, beholding your power and glory. Because your steadfast love is better than life, my lips will praise you. So I will bless you as long as I live. In your name I will lift up my hands. My soul will be satisfied as with fat and rich food, and my mouth will praise you with joyful lips. When I remember you upon my bed and meditate on you in the watches of the night. For you have been my help. And in the shadow of your wings I will sing for joy. My soul clings to you. Your right hand upholds me." And just thinking of kind of that longing after God, if we read this from the psalmist's perspective and everything he's going to do towards God, he talks about earnestly seeking God, thirsting for God. His flesh faints. He looks upon him, beholding his powers, praising him. He's satisfied, remembering, meditating, singing for joy, and clinging to God. And that's a little bit of that desperate lifestyle that we talked about, that longing after Him. So maybe this just gives you a couple more tools in the middle of your week to live that out and to really apply in your own one-on-one time with the Lord. So looking ahead at this next Sunday, church, I think this next Sunday is going to be really special. I don't know if you remember at the end of our hymn genre of laments, we kind of had an interactive Sunday morning. We did a lot of reading and praying and praising. Well, this Sunday we're planning on lamenting live together, and again having some live interaction with the Psalms of Lament. And so we're going to be working through those 4 elements of a lament together on Sunday morning. There's going to be moments of prayer. There's going to be a prayer team in place. There's going to be all kinds of ways for you to just bring your lament before the Lord in a right way, lay it all out before Him, and we're just expecting God to meet us there, to heal our hearts, to showcase Himself in ways that just brings that hope and that trust, that purpose of a lament there. So one thing we're going to be doing, I want you to watch out for this week, is an email that'll be coming your way. You may even get it before you see this video, but an email that gives you an opportunity to kind of write out your lament and then reply an email back to the church, and we're going to do an exercise with that Sunday morning. We're going to keep them private. We're just going to kind of collect them all together and use that as an illustration, as these are the things our church is lamenting through. Your name won't be attached to it all, but then we're kind of going to give that over to the Lord in an illustration live on Sunday morning. So be looking for that email. As far as what we'll be looking into scripture-wise, read Psalm 22. You're going to see a lot of connections with Christ there, as there's another Psalm of Lament to read through. So read through that, pray through that, continue to long after God, and we're going to show up Sunday morning laying it all out before Him and saying, even though all these things are happening, we as a body, we as individuals are going to choose to trust God together. And I think He's going to meet us there. He's going to bring healing and purpose and just give us an incredible perspective to worship Him through. So I'm praying over you this week, and I look forward to having you back here Sunday morning at 9 a.m.